Okay, so we already started talking about list, and we saw that you can create a list using square bracket. You add members to this list. It can have numeric, it can have a string, right? You can even, we saw that you can add a list to this list as well, right? Okay, now we also saw how to access the data from the list. Okay, I want to read a data from the list. Then how do I do that? You need to do indexing, correct? And we discussed about indexing. We said that if you want to access, because each of the position in the list has a um, number, right? So okay, so if I need to read a value from list one, okay, let's say I want to read the first value. So if I need to read first value, I will say list one of 0, right? List one of 0 would give me first value, because the position of the first element in the list is 0. So it starts from 0 and goes all the way up to len minus 1. So if the length of the list is 5, right? That means it has 5 elements. So the index of the last element will be 4, isn't it? Len minus 1, correct? So that's the variable that you have, or that's the position of the variable that you have. Great. Now, okay. So what is a list? We said list is a collection, right? List is a collection. List is a linear collection. Linear means it's a straight line. Okay, that means you have only 2-dimensional, not 3-dimensional. Your matrix is like 2-dimensional. Okay, where you have rows and columns. But this is 1-dimensional. You only have values in 1-dimensional. So it's a linear collection. It's an ordered linear collection. So what is meaning of order here? Ordered means that the elements that you see in the list are in particular order. Okay, and the order starts from 0 and goes all the way up to n minus 1, I said, right? Length minus 1. So if I need to know which element is at third position, which element is at second position, you can clearly see the list and tell me, right? If I want to know which element is on third position, you can simply say, right, list of 2. So each element is ordered. Okay, so it is your ordered linear collection. Okay, now there's one more word here called mutable. So it's an ordered mutable linear collection. It's an ordered linear mutable collection. Okay, whatever you want to say. Mutable means these lists are editable. You can edit the list. That means if a list has a value, let's say this one, this is a list, right? Now I want to edit 34. I don't like 30. I mean, 35, let's say 34 is wrong. Okay. Instead of 34, you want to replace this with 99 or 55.5. You can simply say here list 1 of 0, right? Equal to 55.5. So now when you print list 1, okay, and when you run it, okay, so you should see this 34 is now changed to 55.5. That's why we say that list is editable. You can clearly change the value of a list without any problem. Okay, you can change the value of the list. Okay, it is possible for you to change the value of a list. I can change it to string. I can change it to list. Of course, you can do that. Okay, so we say list is ordered, linear, mutable collection. Okay. Now, one more thing you have to understand here is that indexing in a list can be done backward also. What we just seen here is forward indexing. Now, forward indexing means you go from left to right, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now you talk about backward indexing. Backward indexing means your right to left. So you can index also from right to left. I want to know the last element, right? So the last element is always indexed as -1. Okay. So I can say here list 1 of -1. Okay. So if I tell you what is the last element in the list, you will not ask me, okay, tell me what is the total number of element, or total number of element is 10. Okay, the last element is list of 9. Correct? That's how you do, isn't it? What do? You do len -1, right? If I need to know the last element, you will say len -1. Now, in this case, I don't need to know the len. Simply -1 will give you the last element. Okay. So backward indexing starts from -1. So last element is -1. Second last would be what? -2. Right? Right? So -1, -2, -3, so on. So that's how you navigate through the list from backward, from -2 to -n. So in this case, if you have 3 element, the last element would be -1. Okay, so your last element would be -1, and the first element would be what? -n, right? Because you're talking about 10th element in a list of 10 elements. So the first, okay, in this case, if I need to know the first value, I can also say list 0, okay, or let me write in different line here. So you have 3 elements, so I will say -3, right? -3 will give you the first element. So remember, indexing happens both ways, minus and plus. Plus starts from left to right, which is 0, 2. Okay, so there's a plus. Okay, so 0 is another plus, right? So it's not right to say plus, because 0 you would not call 0 as a plus element. So it's better you say left to right or forward indexing. So you can access element, whichever is convenient for you to do that, you can use it, right? So it's like you have 2 names, right? I've got 2 names, and whichever name you feel like calling me, you can call me, right? Instead of having 1 name, like Chinese, generally they have 2 names, right? They'll have one Chinese name, and Chinese name is difficult, so they'll keep an English name as well. Then it becomes easy to call them, right? So same thing here. Okay. Now, you can also call continuous values. Now, see, I want, let me add few more to this. Okay, so I'm saying true, false, 45. Okay, now when you say true, false, 45, of course, in this case, we have about how many? 3 plus 3, 6 element, correct? Now, I want to print first, third, and fifth. Now, if you want to print first, third, and fifth, okay, then you have no option but to write them separately, right? First, 3, and 5. Okay, so first would be 0, right? Third will be 1, and fifth would be 4, right? No, third will be 2, right? Not 1, right? So you have 0, 2, 4, right? And this will give us first, third, and fifth value. So you have no option but to separate them, write them separately. But if I say I want first to third, okay, I will say I want first to third values. Now you see here, I'm looking for continuous set of values. Okay, I'm looking for continuous set of values. In continuous set of values, you can use same single variable to do that. So starting is first means 0. Ending is third, 0, 1, 2. So remember your range example. In range, when we used for loop, okay, what we did, we gave an element more than what we need. So if you want to iterate till 5, you give 6. You want to iterate till 7, you give 8, isn't it? So here I want to iterate to third value, so I have to give 3, not 2, right? So when I give 3, it means I'm saying give me 0, 1, 2. So 0 colon 3 means 0, 1, 2. 0 colon 5 means 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Your default increment is 1. Okay. So 0 to 3. You get here. So you get 0, 1, and 3. Now, let's see what happens. Okay. If I try to give here 4, right? So I'll give 5 colon 2. Okay. So when I give 5, 0 colon 5, it means I'm saying start from 0. Colon 5 means go up to 5. And third colon indicates you're talking about the increment value. Similar to range. Remember, in range, what we did? We gave range of start, comma, end, comma, increment. Here too, you have start, colon, end, colon, increment. So 0, colon, 5, colon, 2 gave me 0. Okay, 0 plus 2, 2, 2 plus 2, 4. So 0, 2, and 4. 0, 2, and 4 is similar to this one, right? You see the same output we got. So if you can find a pattern using 3 variables, you can use it. But let's say if I had said here first, third, and sixth. First, third, and sixth, then probably you cannot use this, right? You have to write separately only. Okay. So this is how you can get the element. Now, you see what Python says is, if your starting value is 1, then you don't have to mention 0. You have to mention colon. That's when you know that it is, first position or second position. But when you are, okay, but when you are, starting from 0th position, 0 position, then you don't have to mention it, just delete it. Okay, so you don't have to mention it, just remove. Now, when you remove and when you don't see a value in the starting position, it means 0, right? Exactly the way you would do range. When you don't see the value in the first position, it means it's 0, right? So it is 0. Now, when you don't see a value in the last position, then what it means? Here, I give blank colon blank. So when you don't see value, okay, on the right hand side, it means last position. Okay, when you don't see a value on the left side, it means start position 0. And when you don't see a value on the right side, it means it is the last position. Okay, so you get first to last values. You get first to last values. Make sense? Okay, so now we're talking only about forward indexing. You can even do a backward indexing, okay, using negative. Now I want last 3 values. I want last 3 values. That means I want true, false, and 45. I'm asking a question. How will I do it? So last three values, okay, last three values, okay, means you want and I'm talking about negative index, okay. So here you will say -1, -2, -3, correct? -1, -2, and -3. So I need -3, -2, and -1. Okay. So which is the lowest value? -3. So -3 will be here. So remember, this colon always works from low to high. So when you talk about -3, -2, -1, the lowest value is -3. So -3 should be written on the left side. Right? -3 should be written on the left side. And then comes okay, then comes -2, -1. Now, if I put -1 here, okay, what happens? You only get two values. Why? Because the right side, okay, is up to, not including. So if we say -1, right? So if we say -1, then it will stop at -2, isn't it? Right? Because the right side ending is up to. So if I put -1, it will stop at -2 only. It will not go to -1. It will not go to -1. That's why what we have to do here is you have no option but to leave it blank. Because we know that when we leave it blank, then it means go up to end. Okay, this is called indexing. And we have seen indexing in list. Okay, now it doesn't matter whether you are doing string, we will do string. After list, we will do tuple, and then we go back to string. String, list, tuple, dictionary, sets, numpy, pandas, all of them use same concept. All of them uses same concept of indexing. So I'm not going to talk about indexing again. This is the first and the last time, but the concept remains same. Same square bracket only we use for indexing. I told you yesterday, okay, we use same square bracket for any kind of indexing, right? For any kind of indexing, we use square bracket. And the concept of getting the value is remains same. Any question on indexing? Did you understand? Okay, it can be anything. Give me first three numbers, give me last three values, give me middle three values, give me third to fifth values, give me fifth to eighth values. Any of these questions you should be able to answer using indexing. Yes? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Perfect. Now, let's look at a couple of properties here. Okay. So let's say you have list 1 and I can have list 2 here. Now, list 2 can be whatever, 2, 3, 5. You can actually add, can say list 3 equal to list 1 plus list 2. Okay. List 1 plus list 2. Now, if you print list 3, when you print list 3, it means you are adding list 1 and list 2 together and it became a list 3. So first value will be all from list 1. Okay, up to 45, right? This is your list 1 and then you are adding list 2. So you can add two lists. Okay, you can add two lists, you get a third list. Just like when you add two numbers, you get a third number. You cannot add a number. You can't have an integer to a list. I cannot say, plus 3. Okay, you can only add two lists. Just like you can add only two numbers, okay, you cannot add a number and a list. You can add two lists, but you can't add two number and a list. Clear? Okay. Now, okay. So this is your list 3. Now, you can multiply a list. So I'm saying list 4 equal to list 2 into 3. Now, when I print list 4 equal to list 4, and when you run it, you see 3, 4, 5 is your list 2, and we say multiplied by 3. So 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5. It got repeated 3 times. It got repeated 3 times. Right? It got repeated 3 times. This is how you can, multiply a list by a number. You can multiply list by a number. Make sense? Okay. Another important thing that we should know here is using list in a loop. To be more specific, in a for loop. So instead of using range, you can use a list. How? Because see, I told you for loop, each of those values that we wrote, if you remember, we wrote for, we wrote variable counter, right? And we said in, and we said range. So instead of range, I will put L1. Okay, for counter in, not L1, sorry. It is list 1, right? Okay, so for, for counter in list 1. Now, range would generate range of values from the given range. Okay, same thing is done by list. List is generating value based on what we have given. So counter, every iteration, counter will take the number of values from list 1. Okay, sorry. So how many values list 1 has? 6 values. So how many times this loop will run? 6 times. Okay, so this loop will run 6 times. Okay, so if I print hello, okay, so if you run it, see, it's going to print hello 6 times because loop is running 6 times. Correct? 3 plus 3, 6 times loop is running, because each time counter is taking one value from list 1, one value from list 1, second value, third value, fourth value, fifth, and sixth value. So it is making it run 6 times. And what is the value of counter? Value of counter is not 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The value of counter is the value from the list 1. So if I say hello and I give, let's say, colon, and I print counter. So it says hello 55.5, hello, hello, hello 234, hello true, hello false, and hello 45. Right? So this is how you can use a list for your loop. You can read each value from a list. And once you read, it's up to us, right? I want to print the data type of this. So I'll say hello counter, okay, has a data type of, I'll say type of counter. And when you run it, you see, hello 55 has a data type of float. Hello has a data type of string. 234 has data type of list, boolean, int. Right? So you read the value and then you can manipulate the way you want to, depending upon your business logic. Yes, with me? Okay, so you can use for loop. Great. So these are some basic properties of list. We do have more properties. We'll talk about it. Okay, so I'm going to save this in different file and let's go back to our file. Okay, So now we'll talk about properties of a list. We'll talk about properties of a list. Okay. So if you remember, I was talking about class someday, right? And I said that class is a, um, you know, is used to represent a value. Class is used to represent a value, isn't it? Now, because see, you see this, right? Each of this value has a class. So class is used to represent a value or a group of values which is of type float, right? It represents the group of values which type is float. Okay, it represents a group of values which type is list. Now, when talk about list, okay, the group has some properties, right? Because we said Apple is a class, right? Apple is a class because all the values, okay, all the members of Apple, whatever you call an Apple, they have similar properties, right? Okay, so similarly, when we say a list, it has similar properties. What are the properties of a list? Okay, and so this is what we're going to see. Okay, so all the lists are similar in nature. Okay, obviously because they belong to same, right? All apples will be similar in nature, right? Because we call them apple, they are the apple. Similarly, all the members of a list will be similar in nature. Okay, so when you say similar in nature, so they should have some properties, right? That will make them similar in nature. So those properties, we will see it now. So how do you access the property first of all? Okay, so you create an object, okay? So when I say L1 equal to 2, 3, 4, I'm creating an object of class list, isn't it? Now, to call the properties of list, you simply create object dot. Okay, the moment you see dot, any of these editors will give you the list of properties. You see M is your method. Okay, what is method? So methods are functions. Okay, they're exactly functions. Only difference between methods and function is that methods are part of a class. So far we've been using functions. We use functions like print, input, int, len, right? They're all used global, irrespective of which data type you are playing with or which object you are working with or dealing with, right? But methods are specific to an object. They are part of a class and they are specific to the objects of those class. So if I say L1 equal to a list and I say L2 equal to a list or I say L10 equal to a list, since all these three belongs to list, they'll have same properties. And what properties? You say object name dot. Okay, the moment you say object name dot, you get the list of properties. Okay, and these are called methods. So it is function only. Difference is that method. So when you write a function inside a class, okay, it is not available directly. You have to call the object of the class to call these functions. So functions, when declared in a class, they're called as methods. That's why you see M written. M indicates these are methods. So we have methods like pop, copy, clear, remove, insert, append. Okay, these are the methods, and we need to, we will see all of these, what each of these things mean. Okay, now pop. Okay, see, it uses index. So pop removes the element from the list based on the index, and index is not mandatory. Okay, so if I want to remove the last element, then I can simply say pop. Or if I want to remove first element, I will say pop of 0, right? First element. So pop can be used with or without. Pop can be used with or without index value. So pop without index will remove last element from the list. Okay, here, okay, pop will remove the element at the given index. So pop will remove the element, right? Not elements, only one element at a time. Will remove the element at the given index. Okay. So if I do print L1 after pop, I'm going to say print L1. Okay. Print L1. Okay. And I'm going to say one L1. Okay. To differentiate between this first print and second print. So the first print will have last element gone, right? Fourth element should be gone. And second print, since we are saying 0, the first element should be gone, right? So last element gone and your first element gone. Okay, your last element gone and your first element gone. Okay, so this is your pop. Pop is a method of list which will remove the element. By default, it removes the last element. Okay, and if you give an index, it will remove the element at the given index. Okay, let's look at next what we have in the list. So I'm going to say L1 dot append. Append will add. So it takes object, not index. You see, it says append object. That means it will add the object. Okay, I want to add value 5 to this. I want to add, okay, let's say 4 to this. Okay, 4 was already there. Let's add 1 here. Let's add 8 here. So what am I doing? I'm adding. Append means adding. Adding value 5. Okay, value 5 will get added, but where will it get added? Okay, it will get added at the end. Okay, append always adds the value at the end of the list. Okay, so if you print here after 5 and after 1 and after 8, okay, 5, 4, 3, okay, you see, after adding 5, okay, see, it was 3 after we removed 2, right? Pop 0, we removed 2. So then we added 5. 5 got added at the end. Then we added 1. See, 1 got added at the end. Then we added 8. 8 got added at the end, right? So append will always add a value at the end. Next, what do we have next? L1 dot sort. Sort will sort the value. Okay, by default, it's going to sort in ascending order. So now when I print L1, okay, so we will take this and we say 6 here. So see, ascending order. It was 3518, it became 1358. So sort will sort in ascending order. Okay, now you can even have descending order. If you want to sort in descending order, then you have to say reverse equal to false, or true rather, sorry. Reverse equal to true, okay, will sort in descending order. Will sort in descending order. Okay. Reverse true will sort in descending order. Now you see it became 853231. So if you want to sort the elements, okay, you can simply use sort and it will sort it for you. Okay, then what do we have next? Sorry. Now I'm going to say L1 dot copy. Okay. Copy. Copy is to copy the element from existing list to another list. Okay. So let's see this. So I'm going to call this as creating duplicate values or duplicate list. Okay, not values. When you create a duplicate list itself. So there are two ways of creating list. There are two ways of creating duplicate list. One, I can say L2 equal to L1, right? Then I can say L3 equal to L1 dot copy. Okay, so I'm using copy function, copy method, right? Not function, copy method. So you can say L2 equal to L1 or you can say L3 equal to L1. What is the difference between them? Okay, so let's see the difference. I'm going to print here. I'm going to say, okay, 11 L1. Okay, just numbering so that we can compare the output. We can link the output to the line that we are executing. And I'm going to say L1. Okay, now I'm going to call again 11 L2, 11 L3, L2, and let's say we call L3. Now what we'll do, okay, we will print it again, L1, L2, L3, we'll call it a 12. And between these, let's make some changes. I'm going to say L1 dot append. I'm appending to L1. I'm going to say 33. Okay, I'm going to append to L2 and L3. So L3 and L2. Let's change the values as well. Okay, 33, 43, 53. Okay, so I'm adding 33 to L1, 43 to L2, and 53 to L3. Okay, so this should give you same value, right? We are copying. So this should give us same values, right? Let's run it and see. So see 11, they have all same values, 8531, okay? Same as 8531. So it worked well. Now see what happened here. What do you expect and what happened? So, okay, L1, we added 33, great. So you can see 33 got added here, but we never added 43 to L1. Similarly, if you see L2, okay, we added 43, but we never added 33. L2, we added 53. So 53 is correct, right? We added 53 to L3. But L2 has 33, which we never added. L1 has 43, which we never added. So difference between copy and equal to is like giving it another name. They are same, they're not different. Okay, we call this as deep copy. Okay, this is called as deep copy. Okay, both variables point to the same data. So it's like either I say L1 dot append or I say L2 dot append, it will get added at the same location. It's like your brothers, right? If letter comes to your name or your address or your brother's address, is both in the same address, you get it in the same address, right? So here both variables point to the same data. Both variables point to the same data. So it doesn't matter whether you change L2. So I added data 33 to L1. Even L2 has reflected it. Even L2 has it. I added to L2, even though I added to L2, but L1 also has it because they are pointing to the same data. It's like you have a file register and you call it as A register and B register, both. It is doing job of both A and B, right? So if it is doing job of both A and B, if you make entries to A, it will be reflected in B also, right? Because both are pointing to the same registry. But L3 is a copy, photocopy. So the moment you take a photocopy, okay, where's the mouse here? It's called shallow copy. Okay. Or here you create a different copy. Right? Now, when you take a photocopy, at that very moment, it is there same, right? You will not check the spelling in photocopy because you created a photocopy and that very moment it is same copy, same duplicate copy. But after creating a duplicate copy, after creating photocopy, you can make changes to the different files. You make changes to file 1, file 2 will not show it. Obviously, it will not show it because they are no longer linked, isn't it? The moment you create a copy, they will be same. But once you create it, they are different. They are two different documents now. Same thing, they are two different variables now. So that's why when you add to L3, L1, L2 does not show it. And when you add something to L1, L2, L3 will not show it because they are different. Make sense? So this is called copy. Okay, let's see what we have next. L1 dot, so we did clear. Clear will delete everything. Okay, clear will clear the data from the list, but the list will exit. It will not delete it. So you have something called as delete, which will, okay, by the way, delete is different thing. Okay, del is the word. Okay, del will delete the variable. Okay, clear will not delete the variable. It's a variable will be there, but data will be cleared. So if I say print, okay, print, I'm going to say 99 list 1 equal to L1. So now you run it and you see it gives you blank. All the data is clear. Dot clear will remove it. Will reset it to blank. Okay. Then you have something called as L1 dot, okay, dot, you see index here. So index has 3 members: value, start, and stop. Okay. So it has value, start, and stop. So what it says is, find me the value between start and stop. What's the index of the value between start and stop? Okay. What's the value? Okay. The index of value between start and stop. And start and stop, okay, are default values. So not, you don't have to give the values for stop and stop. Okay. Start default is 0 and stop default is -1. So if you do not give it, it means from this entire list, tell me where this value is. Now let's say this is our L1, isn't it? I want to know the index of 3. What is the index of 3? Yes, what is the index of 3? So index of 3 here is 0, 1, 2, right? So index of 3 is 2. Okay, index of 3 is 2, 0, 1, 2, isn't it? So index of 3 is 2. All right. So I want index of 3 between 3 and 10. So do you have 3 between 3 and 10? No. It'll give you error. 3 is not in the list. I'm saying ignore 0, 1, 2. From 3 and 10, tell me it's 3 or 3 is there or not. Okay. But let's say if I add 3 here at the end, L1 dot append 3. Okay, so now you see, it gave us 6. So this is your data, right? And here you see, I'm talking from here till here. Tell me from here till here, what is the index of 3? So it will ignore this. It will check, okay, no 3, no 3, no 3. Oh, found here. So this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Index of 3 is 6. So this is how you can find the index, okay, in the entire list or within the list. One thing you have to be careful about is, okay, index will throw error if value is not in the list. Remember, index will throw error when value not in the list. Why should we be careful? Because when you get an error, your program stops. It doesn't give a proper message, right? It doesn't give a proper message. Your program will stop. So before, okay, you perform index, check if the value is in the list or not. Value is in the list or not. How will you know value is in the list or not? You use count. So when you use count, okay, when you use count, you can count, right? How do you count? Right? Did you understand what I'm saying? So how do you count? You have a count. Okay. So count will do the count and its use exactly like index. So I can say number equal to L1 dot count, okay, 3 comma 10. So it will tell me how many threes are there between, how many threes are there between 3 and 10. How many threes are there between 3 and 10? If that count is more than 0, only then you print it, okay? So here if I say, okay, print number of threes in the given range is num. Okay. So let's say 6. Index is 6. Count is 1. What happened here? Count takes exactly 1 argument. Oh man. Okay. I made a mistake here. Count takes only 1 value. Okay. 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 So when you say 3, in totally L1, how many 3s are there? 2 3s, right? One is here, another is here. Okay. You have L1 dot, okay, yeah. So count takes only value. Okay. Count takes value. It does not tell you, okay, within the given range, what is there. But if I want to find, okay, if I want to find within 3 and 6, then what should I do? I can create another list, right? I can say here, I want to know between, okay, so here, number of 3 in the list, right? But in the given range, what should I do? I will create list 1 duplicate, which is equal to L1, and I want between 3 and 10, right? So I will say 3:11, right? I want a list between 3 and 10, right? I'll say 3:11, right? Now I can check in, okay, num equal to L1 duplicate of count, okay, 3, right? So, okay, so this is how you can actually do that, okay? So I need to know how many threes are between 3 and 10, because if I don't calculate and if I run it, it's going to give me error. So before I run it, I need to check the count. So you can count and you get it. Now see here, it says number of 3 in the given range is 1. You can club these two sentences together. How? You can say num equal to, okay, so see, this is your this, right? And this is what? This is same as this one, right? So you can copy and paste here like this, right? So this will give you a list, and then that list of count 3. So this will give you number of threes within 3 and 11. Okay, so this is how you can do that. I can say above two statements can be clubbed as one shown below. Okay, so this is how you can check the number of elements with the given range. So you have to create a temp list, new list with the given range, and then you check for count in that. Okay, so this is how you can get it. Now, what else is left? We have done append, count, sort, clear, index, copy, pop. Okay, remove. We haven't done, right? Remove, insert, extend, and reverse. Okay, let's start with reverse. Reverse is easy. Reverse will simply reverse the list. Okay, so I'll say print list after reverse. Okay, so I'll say list before reverse and list after reverse, so that we know the value before. List before reverse is and after reverse is. Okay, I'm going to say L1, and here I'm going to say L1, right? So before reverse, it is 8, 5, 3, 2, 1, 3, 3, 4, 3, 3. Now see, the last element became first, second last became second, So the reverse, the list got reversed. The values of the list got reversed. The reverse method will simply reverse the elements in your given list. Okay, this is your reverse. Then we have extend. Extend is to add to list. Now we also seen how to add to list, right? So okay, so what we did is, when you say simply plus will perform like C equal to A plus B, right? Your extend will be like A equal to A plus B. So if I say list 4 equal to 11, 22, 33, and now I'm going to say list 1 dot extend list 4. And now you print L1 after extend. You say L1. Okay. So see, so before extend, it was 343, right? 358. So 343, 358, and 11, 22, 33 got added to L1 only. That's how extend will do. Extend will extend the members of the list. Okay. And the last method that we need to do is called remove. So we have seen pop. Oh, remove we have done? No, right? Okay, so we have, okay, append, remove and insert, right? These two we have to do it. So remove and insert, okay? Now, we have seen pop. Pop takes index, right? That's what we saw. Remove takes value to remove or delete from the list. That's the difference between your pop and remove. So in remove, we have to give the value that you want to remove. Insert, append will always add at the end, right? Insert takes the position also along with the values. So if I need to, so this is your L1 after extend, right? I want to remove 8. In this case, you see you have two threes, right? Here and here. So if I give remove 3, the first occurrence of 3 will go. Okay, so I'll say print 1 after remove. Okay, so when I say remove, okay, this will throw error. So let me now comment it out for now. So when I say remove 3, so 3 got removed. So now you have from 43 to 33. 3 got removed. You can say remove 8. 8 will be gone. So I'll say remove 8. Now when you run it, you see 8 is also gone, right? So first 3 gone and then 8 gone. So you don't have 3 and 8 here. So remove takes the value that you want to remove. Now again, just like index, here also you have to check if value is in the list or not. Because if you try to remove something which is not in the list, let's say you give 80 and you want to remove 80 or 18, whatever. Let's say we give 18, right? Now this will throw error. X not in the list. Obviously 18 is not in the list. So you can't remove element which is not in the list. So you have to first check the count. If count is more than, look, okay, so what I can do here is count, right? Equal to L1 dot count and 18, right? Now I will say if C and T greater than 0, then I will say L1 dot remove 18. Otherwise, so what it does, okay, no error, because obviously it checks and count will be 0. No count here, right? Count of 18 will be 0. So this will fail and your remove will not be called. Okay, so this is how you remove an element from the list. The second is insert. Insert, I just said, okay, it needs 2 values here. Okay, so the moment you put insert, says, see, it takes index and object. See, 2 values it takes. Okay, so it takes, first it takes index, then the value to add. I want to add, okay, I want to add at third position. So I'll say 2, right? I want to add at third position. So I'll say 2. I want to add 32. So now print 1 dot insert 1 equal to, okay, L1. I wanted to add 32 at third position. So where is 1 insert? 1 insert, you see, 32 got added at the third position. I want to add again. I want to add 42 at third position. No problem. Okay, so I'll say 2 here. 2 insert 2. So now you see 2 insert 2. Say 42, right? So 42 got added. So everything is moved to the right because I want to add a third position. So when I say third position, 0 and 1 will be undisturbed, right? We are not talking about 0 and 1. I mean, first and second position. So that will remain as it is. From third, everything will shift 1 position. What was third becomes fourth, what is fourth becomes fifth, what is fifth becomes sixth, what is sixth becomes seventh, so on. Okay, so these are different properties of list. Tomorrow we will take one example and we'll try to see how they are used practically, and then we'll move to next topic, which is tuple. Once we do tuple, then we'll do strings. So hopefully tomorrow we should be able to wrap up tuple and some part of string. We should start string. That's my idea. Is that okay?